peasants.
What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Hsu.
We're talking about peasants. And here we are for Mr. James Wan continuing his cinematic universe with the Conjuring series.
The most successful universe in the movie world right now, besides Marvel.
Yes.
Even more successful than the DC universe.
Actually, since we're talking about the statistics and the percentage, I think... Are you sure they're more successful? Because these movies are costing like 5 to 10, sometimes 20 million, but they're making 300.
It's insane.
It's insane.
I think. Well, there was that lawsuit though that like took a chunk of their profits.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I think so. But they're making an insane amount of money. Yeah, they're. I mean,
printing money.
Like if you and without already established properties. Too, you know, I mean, you got to think about it.
Brand new,
it's really crazy that this is a serious universe, but it's a universe that I love, right? Like James Wan really kind of hopped on screen with Saw, and you know he went on to develop his career. Gave us Insidious, you know, he brought us The Conjuring, and then you know he's so popular now he just kind of flew in the back and became producer.
Annabelle.
We got Annabelle's sequel, which I liked far better than the first Annabelle. We got The Conjuring 2, but you know, obviously he's not directing these movies, he's not directing on this picture, but he's a producer, and you know, he's really gotten to the point where he just kind of has created this universe as in charge.
He's the man.
But now we have arguably one of the most anticipated movies this year for all the horror fans, The Nun. Most people probably watched Conjuring 2, and the most haunting thing about that movie
is
seeing The Nun.
Oh my god!
Because the use of how cool that was with the portrait. I don't know if you guys remember when we first introduced it's a portrait, and then we think it's a portrait at one point, and then it's a real nun. It's real trippy. And then she obviously got so popular, they brought her back in Annabelle's sequel, which is really a prequel. And now we have even a further prequel as we have The Nun. Sir, what did you think? Not super crazy on the horror movies. Did you like The Conjuring and stuff?
They're fine.
I like Conjuring 1, I like Conjuring 2, I like the last Annabelle. Annabelle was meh, so I'm really kind of hoping that this is up there with the other. I'm just really not that horror dude, you know, but I'll go for a good scare, and it's interesting because when you watch the behind the scenes of horror films, it's silly. Yeah. You know, because it's all about the adding the dark filter, the silence, and it's really all about music, you know.
Doing all that, because when you watch the behind the scenes, it's like they're just walking, and you know, there's like 80 to 100 people behind you watching you do this thing. Anyway, it was okay. Yeah, it was okay. It had some good scare. What? You know, it had some good moments.
Did you jump a few times?
Yeah, there was a couple of jump scares, you know, and it was in classic Conjuring universe style. I enjoyed it. I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10 for Mr. Hsu. She isn't not great though. Not great.
No, nothing I'm gonna be bragging about.
Could you?
I can't.
No.
I don't remember any of them.
None, really?
I enjoy them all.
The first Conjuring, man, really
just don't
stuck
remember.
with me. Conjuring 2, too. Yeah, I think to be honest, I think you're a little bit easy on this movie. Yeah. I really was disappointed in this
5.5.
Yeah, it'll go down if I ask you in a few months, because you're just like, yeah. I mean, honestly, this was a movie that I felt highlighted one of the coolest characters to come out of this universe. And what did they do? They rubbed her in your face to the point where she just felt like a cheap internet scare tactic. And I thought that was the most disappointing thing about this movie. You know, in the Insidious movies, in the Conjuring movies, one great thing that James Wan, you know, particularly when he's directing those, so I gotta remember that, was really great with is that he always teased you what the scare was and then kind of only revealed it to you very briefly at a time towards the end of the movie. It was more about silhouettes, it was more about shadows, and all these really things that kind of make you go bump in the night. And The Nun just feels like a generic horror movie in the sense that we're constantly jump scare. Here's the crazy nun with the crazy yellow eyes, and it just feels so weak. And there's no story to it. I mean, you know, the Conjuring's always set up in these universe. Granted, they always do kind of revolve around the same type of thing. You know, there's a demon in the wall, you know, and he's really pissed and he wants evil people, you know, he wants to possess. I mean, we do follow those beats. This movie's no different, but it doesn't even feel like they tried. They were just like, there's a demon and it's possessed a nun. And, you know, I mean, I really wanted to like this movie. And for instance, and then, you know, randomly we throw in this really overly over-the-top comedic comic relief character, and he feels
Frenchie.
so Frenchie feels so out of place. And as much as I love the French Canadians, he just kind of was just a sore thumb in this movie. He didn't really stand out. We had the priest who didn't feel really developed. He just felt there, and he felt like he had to just be there to be the priest that rocks the classic outfit. I was really just kind of lost in what this movie was trying to do. I don't think it added anything to the Conjuring universe. I don't think it really was a great horror movie. I think it was just very basic. It's funny. I'm going to talk about a time way back when where most people don't remember. But there was a time before James Wan was the king of horror, or at least when he was rising to the top, when we had movies like The Apparition, The Possession. And we had this string of really bad, overly CGI demonic possession movies that all try to be The Exorcist. And finally, James Wan, again, I can't blame him as a director, but him also being a part of it, has reached that area where he just did that. The Nun really is something so generic. It's something I've seen 100 times over that I was so let down by this movie. Again, I think it really highlighted one of the coolest characters out of a universe. And, I think they could have went some really interesting ways. I thought, granted I knew we weren't going to get this, but I thought a great way to do the Nun movie would to just do a normal drama and then just kind of really jump into the fact that she becomes this possessed character, and it all happens like the last kind of 10 minutes, and I thought that would have been really interesting. Of course that's not what we're going to get because that's not what sells tickets. Everyone wants the jump scares and the horror things, and it seemed like the audience was entertained, but I don't think this is a movie that's going to send people terrified like The Conjuring did, like Insidious did. And I don't think that there's anything very memorable about it. I think the last 5 minutes have some kind of fun moments. Maybe last 10 minutes, I should say.
It's funny you say that, actually, real quick, just to interject. Yeah. I thought that's what the movie's about. What? I thought it was going to be about a nun
who is possessed.
She, as the movie goes on, she becomes worse and worse and becomes a murderer, killing other nuns and stuff. That's what I thought.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have even introduced the idea of a possession to the end. Like in my world, my perfect world, I wouldn't have even introduced the fact that this was going to be a horror movie, or even acknowledge a demon until the last 15 minutes of the movie. But no, I thought the same thing. I thought this was a particular person. This woman was someone in particular that we needed to kind of find her backstory, and it's not at all. And I think that's another thing that hurts it. We have this great image, but at the end of the day, it's just, a shape-shifting type creature, and like we've seen, and
spirit.
It really just kind of lacks that really that's a really interesting character. And you in the safest of places, the church, right? You're supposed to find literally the safest thing, and of course you have your sister, you have a nun. Growing up Catholic, the nuns are, and you both love some Sister Act. I tell you what though, I learned something really interesting in this movie. I did not know their outfits are called habits. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. That made Sister Act 2's subtitle so much more interesting to me, because it's called Back Habit. Yeah. Oh. I thought it meant back in the habit of just singing and stuff. Oh. Now it makes sense. She's back in the habit. Anyway.
Wow, that only took 20 years.
Yeah. What is the new thing right now? Today, I was this old when I learned this.
It's always right? I just learned it.
I was 27 years old when I learned we're back in the habit.
The can opener one? Did you see that one?
Yeah. So anyway, I think The Nun was generic, forgettable, and really didn't offer anything to kind of really stand out. I think if you're a horror fanatic, you like to be scared, I think you're going to come see this movie without me having to sway you one way or another, but I'm just telling you, if you're going in with the expectations of Insidious or Conjuring, you're walking out with something more, far more generic and far more, it feels factory made, and that's kind of a bummer, and I hope the Conjuring universe doesn't take that direction. The movies that stand out are the ones that kind of went weird. The first Annabelle felt very generic and very uncreative, and it didn't work. They came out with the prequel, felt totally different, they changed it up, and I hope they do this with The Nun. I hope we could really go back and really dive into that character and make it an actual character rather than just a thing.
I would like to see The Nun in 2018.
Yeah?
Not the past. Tired of the past stuff, man.
Tired of the old stuff?
Yeah, let's bring the timeline to 2018.
Yeah, but you gotta think, a lot of that's gotta be kind of tacky, though.
In 2018?
Yeah, you're on the phone, and the nun, she's on the screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I honestly thought this movie was taking place more, would take place kind of back and forth, which it really didn't.
50 years back.
Yeah,
right?
50 years back, and I thought we were gonna hop back and forth, between The Conjuring and then kind of go back to this, but We really don't. We only do it
its own
twice.
standalone, yeah.
Yeah, it's its own standalone, and I don't have anything problem with
The
the
first
timeline.
2 minutes and then the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, because you take away lights, you already have a great advantage for a horror movie. If there's no light bulbs, you have a great advantage. But I mean, I don't know. There was just nothing there for me to really dig this movie. Everything just felt really weak and generic, and I don't think I can put it any other way. It didn't leave an impression on me at all.
Fair enough. But don't listen to us. Watch the movie.
Yeah, go see it and let me know what you think.
Comment below. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. And last week we reviewed a far more interesting movie called Searching, so make sure to go check
Searching
that out.
was great.
Next week, a horror-esque movie makes its return with The Predator, and also White Boy
No
Rick.
Schwarzenegger,
No Schwarzenegger.
but full McConaughey.
Yes. Yeah, White Boy Rick will be out too, so make sure to check that out. Here at AMC Town Square, we run out of private theater. When you go see a horror movie, there's nothing more annoying than people talking, people just doing annoying things. I remember watching Conjuring 2. This was not in our theater, this was at the critic screening, mind you. I had a guy who needed every last drop of his Slurpee behind me, and it drove me nuts the entire time. That's not what it's like at our theater. Our theater, everyone's really respectful, everyone's really great. It's always quiet in the good, scary moments. No one's blabbering and annoying you. So make sure to join us here at AMC Town Square for all of the movies every Thursday at 10 o'clock.
And all of our guests this week got IMAX.
Yes, bonus.
Yeah.
So
not
you never
gonna
know.
lie, don't like
You never
those
know what's
seats,
going to
though.
happen.
Not gonna lie, I don't like those seats.
I do like those seats because I don't like
them.
reclining all the
You
way.
can't go back.
Yeah, I don't like that. I like sitting up.
Don't really like you.
Yeah, well, that's okay. 'Cause I don't really like you.
Excellent.
And I didn't like this movie.
Love it. ChasingCinema.com is known as
The Film Lovers website.